Studio. Tonight's lecture, titled Between a Painting and a Museum, concludes our second year of this annual lecture series, Asian Architecture Today. Created in collaboration with California College of the Arts Architecture Division, I'm excited that we have the opportunity to continue to cultivate this relationship and build a stronger connection between the museum and the architecture students, as well as architecture professionals in the field. This series, like I've said many times before, acknowledges the unique identity of the Asian Art Museum. So much of our collection can be seen and understood through design in dynamic and important ways, and it is my hope that by featuring some of the most prominent voices in architecture, while it might seem like a stark disconnect or contrast with the art that the museum presents, it actually creates a sense of continuity between craftsmanship and design, looking at the field of contemporary architecture. And actually, I really believe tonight is a unique example of that. So I really can't tell you how excited I am about tonight's lecture and to hear about the work of Wang Shu and Wenyu, the principals of Amateur Architecture Studio. They've been on our short list of potential speakers when we actually started the series in 2017. And for me, what makes their work and philosophy around architecture so compelling is that the projects incorporate traditional materials in non-traditional ways, and in so doing, articulate a clear relationship to that tradition, while also creating something totally and utterly new. I want to thank Wang Shu as well as Wenyu, who is actually joining us tonight as well, so we're very lucky to have you here too. And I have to recognize CCA's architecture division and want to thank Lisa Finley, the interim Dean of Architecture, and Leah Kendall, the program manager of the architecture division for the graduate program, for working with us to produce this year's series. And so it is with great pleasure that I turn things over to our co-presenter, Lisa Finley. Please join me in giving her a round of applause.
As Mark said, it's our immense pleasure to be co-sponsoring this evening. Tonight, of course, we welcome to San Francisco both Wang Shu and Wenyu and their son. We've discovered he's with them tonight. Both Wang Shu and Wenyu are faculty members in architecture at the highly esteemed China Academy of Art in the former imperial city of Hangzhou, where Wang Shu at this academy is also the Dean of Architecture. I begin with their academic affiliation because the China Academy of Art is actually a sister institution of the California College of Arts, and so we're thrilled to have this continuing relationship elaborated in this way. I'm going to just say a few things tonight about the practice of the Amateur Architecture Studio, maybe just to give those of you who aren't architects, all the architects know this by heart, but just to give you a sort of context for what you're going to see. Wang Shu and Wenyu established the Amateur Architecture Studio in 1997. The studio was founded as a resounding rejection of the wholesale destruction of villages and urban neighborhoods by so-called professional architecture, whose blind adoption of globalized approach to buildings, whose standardized construction techniques and limited palette of materials were destroying Chinese-built heritage. Instead, the Amateur Architecture Studio then grounds its work on an honoring and celebration of the skilled craftspeople who have for millennia built Chinese cities. They base it on research into a wide array of rich traditional Chinese construction materials and techniques, and also on hands-on experimentation that pushes these materials and techniques into new, surprising contemporary forms and applications. In many cases, they're also rescuing, actually saving, construction knowledge and techniques, sometimes even the materials themselves for research, reuse from the very bulldozers of developers. At the same time, Wang Shu brings to the practice a deep engagement with traditional building forms and with poetic and atmospheric drawings, which I think we're going to be talking about tonight. His working method leads then to these sudden bursts of thinking through drawing techniques that are once architectural but also themselves rooted in Chinese painting. The result of these concerns and approaches in the hands of these architects have been fresh, astonishing projects that evoke the rich history of Chinese building tradition and form while being absolutely contemporary. Indeed, they're part of a group of architects in China who are resisting globalized products of development economics and are redefining what architecture means in the 21st century there. The amateur architecture studio started gaining international attention when they were awarded a Holcim Award for environmental sustainability in 2005 for their 5 scattered houses project in Ningbo. This project, it's in a huge new public park, allowed the studio to experiment using 5 small pavilions they could play around with a wide range of materials and formal research that they had been conducting. Other significant commissions include the Ningbo Museum of Contemporary Art, the ongoing construction of the Zhongshan campus in Hangzhou for the China Academy of Art, a significant redevelopment framework and pavilions for a historic street in Hangzhou, a recent addition of houses to rural villages. So you can see there's a wide range of size and scales and types of projects they're engaged in. Perhaps most well-known of their projects is the Ningbo History Museum, which has been widely published. In 2012, Wang Shu was awarded the Pritzker Prize, which is often referred to as the Nobel Prize in Architecture. He's the first Chinese architect to receive this annually awarded honor. While surely the worldwide acclaim brought by this honor creates new demands on his time, Wang Shu and Wenyu have continued to be the experimental and visionary architects that they have been, as well as to continue their dedication to teaching the next generation of Chinese architects, which is in turn developing more amateurs like they are. You can judge for yourself how truly amateur they are. So please join me in welcoming to the stage Wang Shu.
Thanks for Mark and Lisa. I'm Wang Shu. In fact, tonight I come with my wife, my only partner, Wenyu, together. But usually she is very shy, so I have to stand there alone and speak alone. But my English is not very good, but I just want to try to share some thinking and experience about our studio's approach. Today I will introduce one of our new work. It's almost be finished, and it will be opened in May. It's a museum. And the topic is talk about multi-layered cultures. It's a basic concept about this work. I'm not very sure multi-cultures, its translation is precise. You can give the chart. And another side, I want to talk about a spatial thinking, spatial ideas, because when I do this work, I really do some thinking between one Chinese Asian painting, landscape painting, and this new museum. Yeah, it's for our studio, it's a very long-term work. You know, in China, usually we do everything very fast. Usually, I think, start from a design to the finish of the construction, 3 or 4 years. It's a Euro. But this one is very un-Euro. We do that almost for 10 years. And why? Because it's a really very difficult work. It means a lot of work. It's a museum in a small city near Ningbo. And it's not very big. It just means near 12,000 square meters. And we do whole works, architecture design and interior design, exhibition design, landscape design. It's our way. Usually we do everything together. This is a place, position. Yeah, you know, it's the Shanghai. Usually the people know Shanghai, foreigner. It's Hangzhou. Yes. The Hangzhou is a smaller city than Shanghai. Shanghai have 25 million populations. We only have 9 million populations. It means small. Yes, and Shanghai have a 200 years history. We have 2,000 years history. It's different, you know. And it's a Ningbo. It's very important. Another big city, only have 8 million population, and it's very famous harbor. In the long history, in the past 2,000 years, especially have a very close relation to Japan. It means seaway to Japan, from harbor. That's here. This our new museum is in here. A small city, just belong to the Ningbo. It means almost 500,000 population, small town, in fact. We designed this museum called, in fact, it's been the traditional dowry museum. It's a special things about the dowry in this area in the Ming and Qing dynasty. It's been past 600 years. They have a special tradition about the dowry. It means the girls, when they marry to other family, they should take many things, from clothes to the furniture, everything, many things. Now, this is a place in the city. You can see it's a city like this, and the government, the city government, they select a very good place for the new museum. It's in the hills area. Like this. This is the new photo, just a recent new photo. And 10 years ago, when we started this work, almost no any high-rise building here. Yeah, this 10 years later, the city changed. It had a big change. Yeah, this is a small museum, and I think special things is what means about special dowry here, tradition here. It means everything is red colors, like this. Yes, from the sculpture and the things in the life and the furniture, bed, even clothes, even clothes from outside to inner, every layer is red colors. It's very special. And another interesting things, the government, the city government, they want to build the museum about this tradition, very beautiful tradition, but they don't have any collection, in fact. In China, past the Cultural Revolution, the city lost, the society lost many things, but something is in the private people's hand. They had a collection. So finally, they find a way, it's a government to build a space, and the private people give the collection inside. Yeah, that's the new approach. And when I start thinking about how to design this museum, the basic background about the village in this area is beautiful tradition. You can see the building usually like this, very dark colors. They have spatial roofs, and they have a very good relation to the natural surroundings. Usually they have a courtyard system. And this is the farmer's house. It's not being the small family. In the Chinese tradition, the farmer's family means a big family. They had at least 3 or 4 generations they were living together here. So they have a big courtyard like this. It means, it not just means some private space. The courtyard in China tradition is means some inner public space. So it's in the family inside, many different generation people, they living together. And also the guests will meet people here. The courtyard means everything for Chinese life, I think. in Chinese tradition, if you have the culture, you have the Chinese culture. If you lost the culture, many things will gone. You can see the beautiful materials. It's the local stone. It's gray bricks, red bricks, tiles. It's many things coexist together. It means something mixed. It's not just means the very concept means usually the people understand the Chinese culture. It means just means gray bricks or just means the white colors and black colors. Not so simple. In fact, real tradition here you will find is something like that. More natural. It's the site. It's the funny things that the site is on the hills. The site is not the is on the slope of the hills. And the hills is very interesting. It's, if you go to visit the hills, you will find in any corner, you just think something like this. You can't really feel the hills. So the basic question is how to build the architecture on the hills. And like the people really can feel this architecture on the hills. Yeah, this is my first idea about that. So I gave the first sketch in the 2009 January. Yes, it's the first one. Yes, the basic idea is I want to design something have the cultural system, but it's not traditional cultural system. It just means something parallel. The wall, very long wall, parallel along the slope of the hills, and you can find some architecture similar to some space. They cramped on the hills. They covered the one wall to the another one like this, and directly fitting like this. And another side, I want to design something not just about architecture, is also mixed with trees and plants together. It means something like the gardens. And also they have the water system because they have hills, so the running water will naturally flow down from the top to the down place. So I designed some system like this. It's a back fitting in the very beginning. Now the building be finished, so you directly can see from the very beginning sketch to the end of the building. I think that the principle is very clear, no change. It's the road is here. Usually people come to here, and the parking, the car in the below place of the hills, and gradually go up. They have a place gradually walk on, go in the entrance. Then they have many different layers cultured here. This is the best fitting. You can see more high-rise building here now. And what's the relation of this building to the painting? In fact, after I drawn the first sketch, half years later, before the construction, I visited New York. And in the Met Museum, I see this painting. Yeah, this painting called Qi Chao Tu. And maybe it's been drawn in the 1,000 years ago between Tang Dynasty and the Song Dynasty, that time. You can see this place. It's about, I think it's the palace of the Emperor's Palace. And they have many cultures here. You have trees and the basic colors about buildings, something like this. So when I see this drawing, suddenly I find I understand more about what the meaning about cultural system, what meaning about the relation between the different layers of the culture, what's the relation about life event and the space. So I gave the simple analysis to this architecture. I think this painting finally gave the very big influence to my drawing and to my thinking about this architecture. You will find, in fact, from the very beginning sketch to the final work, they had a big change. That's why they had a big change, because this painting gave the big influence to me. So, for example, this one, like the sculpture, finally disappeared. Something happened, changed. You can compare this drawing to this painting. I think this one is more near our final work. Yes, it's different. Something happened. Now, this drawing is a computer drawing. We do this 1 year later. You will find this structure more near this, right? And something inside. It's the principle is very simple, in fact, but the concept become more complex. This one, the form is complex, but in fact, it's very simple. It's just something cramped. It means, but it's not really complex. This one is more complex, in fact. It means something, different understanding about life. Many different things, they can coexist together. Many different events, they can happen in the same time. Something like this. You can find this, the final buildings. This painting. They have some very deep relation to each other. I will give the analysis about structure of the space structure. You'll find it's very simple. It has different layers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 6 different layers here. And this building, they have same structure, but just means more layer. 1 to 7. Yes. And as architects, I think the most interesting things, why we have the great patience to do the design about architecture is one thing about that is you can do something to predict what will happen. When you design a place, you design a space, you will imagine what will happen in the future in this spatial place. Yes, this is why one of my most preferred things about architecture design is about the relation between the event and the architecture place. For example, here you will find they have 7 layers. This have 6 layers. It have 7 layers. Something is here. It means outside the architecture, something is very important. Nature is here. Then they have gradually go in the architecture. It's the first layer, nature is here. They have some water. Then they have a second layer about nature. Something happened. After today's lecture, we will have a dinner together. This is the dinner place you can find. The people that play together, they have some dancing, music, traditional Chinese dishes, and the food. It's many people, beautiful women. Yeah, right. Then it's go in more deep place. Some people's bedroom and some more private space inside. Then they have a big courtyard. It's a gardens. And go out to the gardens is another layer of nature outside. So even the outside part is have some spatial meaning. It's important. And not just architecture is not just about something inside architecture. And here it's also like this. From the first layer outside to the last layer, you can say this is the city here. Yes, another layer. So if you have the trip to go penetrate this different layer of the culture, you will see something like this. In the outside, the gate of the museum, you will gradually you have some curious feeling. What will happen? What will I ever see? Yeah, because they just can see something like this. Then you go in the first layer, you have a big courtyard. It's the landscape courtyard. They have the water pond here. It's the first entrance. There's the second entrance. Gradually go in. They have small tea house here, special things. They have big trees. Then you go in the space, some inner, more private feeling, peaceful place, courtyard like this. Then you go in another layer. They have some theater, open theater here. The people that play the local operas, and the people that audience, like you, sit here. Something have the play the music and sing here. You can see the tea house, another tea house. It's more like some tree inside some gardens, some landscape place. But they have many special place, virtue. In the side of the building, they have some water pond system. Some scholars, some students, they have outdoor class here. Yes, a place like this. They have so many different layers. Gradually, you'll find you almost lost yourself in the gardens. And finally, you'll find small tower here. Then you go up to see. Then you can see all the bird view of the buildings. Apart from this space, event thinking, for our studio, we are really very focused on the materials, techniques, craftsmanship, and feeling about touch. People's real experience about architecture. We do the research about materials. In this area, it's the mountain area. It's many villages inside the mountains. You can find many beautiful way about how to use the local materials. Many different way about how to deal with the stones. Many different kinds of stones. So finally, we select 6 basic different way about how to construct the stones in one museum. How to call it? To give the different layer courtyard, different feeling about construction. So almost every layer you can find some different way about the stone construction. This is our drawing on computer to analyze different way about construction. So you can see that construction site. It's our structural engineer. They do the discussion about how to construct this roof materials. It's a recycled traditional gray bricks. It's some recycled new material. You know, in China, we demolished everything too much. Not just about traditional Chinese architecture be demolished. Even something just to be built 20 years ago, they start to demolish. So we have so many different kind of materials. I hate the people waste the natural resources. I just want to give this material some a better way they can be used. Give back their feeling about respectful feeling. You can feel. So you can see we do many experiments about how to use these materials. But it's not easy like the Chinese now accepted this idea because recycled material means dirty. It's, usually the color is dark, and they want something new. They just want something new. Everything they want new. So it's we do many efforts like the people can get the feeling back. How our tradition think about nature. What meaning about nature? Is the ground. You can see the incredible, beautiful way about construction. But the craftsmen, they are gradually become older. Usually it's around 6 years old. Maybe 10 years later, you can't find any craftsman in China. Okay, now we become real people, common people, give you trip to go through all these buildings. I give this drawing about how about this road, this line, you can visit this museum because they're really very complex. Yeah, from this entrance, gradually go in, and the first entrance. Here you have a space for ticket. Then you can give the first. That's the first layer, and the second layer you find the museum shop and the first exhibition hall, and the third layer they have 2 exhibition here, and here is 4 layers. 4 layers become more complex, because they have in the first 3 layers only 1 floor building there, but start from the 4th layers they become 3 floor. It's because I want the people, they can feel the hills like that. And it's more give you the real feeling about the Chinese painting. You know, the Chinese painting usually the way like this to see. They a little bit similar to the bird view, but it's a chance for me. I can build real building something. If you stand here, you can see, directly you can feel. It's a Chinese painting, you know. It's directly give the feeling like this. And they have outside theater, and the people, they can enjoy the local operas. Then they have 5 layers exhibition hall. Then go to the last layer. It's for the artists. They can visit here and stand here. And they have tea house and small studio here, and they have the bird view to all this building. Yeah, if you really know Chinese traditional painting, you will find usually here at the entrance, go in the painting, and you can imagine you go in this painting, landscape painting. Finally, you will find they have a pavilion in the top of the mountain. This means you can go to there, then you look back. They can the bird view to all your trip about this experience. So go in from here. Finally, you stand here to get this bird view. Okay, now we go in. This outside, first layer outside. There's a parking place. The first entrance is here. This entrance, because we built this building for 10 years, so you can find the wall is a little bit dirty because they become old. It's the second layer entrance. Yeah, we use the bamboo on the doors. It's a tea house. It's very simple materials, very, very basic red color bricks. It's most cheap material in this area. We will plant lotus here. So in the summer, you'll see very beautiful water pond. It's a small pavilion for tickets. Then you go in. You can see the beautiful materials. The tickets office inside. It's a many space like this. Gradually go in. And look back to the first layer. It's the first entrance. In fact, the space like this, if you really want to take the picture for whole culture, it means it's impossible. Yeah, I'm very interested about this feeling. The cultural system gives you the feeling is that you are in some place, but it's not just mean the virtual experience. It means something around you. It means you are in some place. You can feel the atmosphere, but you can't capture it by your camera. You even can't capture it just by your eye. It means you show your whole body to feel here. So I give this picture means that. It means If you really want to take the picture, it will become like this. There's the second layer. The entrance is very special. They have a 3 doors together. So it means like you have a different eye to same time to see different things. Suddenly you will go in, you will find, oh, the culture like this. It's the very special black color stone here. The people like this. It's very funny. No people like this. You have people like this. It's something like the ceremony. You know. It's very. It means you can predict something will happen here. When you really think something happening here, it's incredible, funny feeling. I like it. Yes, you can see the very carefully designed about light. It's the glass, then it's the wood screen, and it's a special concrete. It's a bamboo ceiling. They have a different feeling, like your clothes. They have many layers. It gradually touch your body, the feeling like that. You can feel that feeling. Oh, it's beautiful. Even me, I feel, oh, it's beautiful. That now it's empty because it's just almost be finished. And gradually they will move the furniture inside and will open in the May. Three doors. Door closed. You can see the spatial material. It's a concrete, very spatial. We cast with the bamboo. That's the light. Inside, we also do the exhibition space design. Yeah, it's very difficult to capture all the courtyard. Like this. This is better this way to take the picture to understand the different layer of the space. It's very beautiful black color stone in this area. It's a craftsman. Very small courtyard inside. In fact, it not just means the 6 or 7 layer of the courtyard. It means the big courtyard inside has some small courtyard inside. They have more small courtyard inside. It's something like this. Yeah, it's also like the courtyard, but very narrow. You can see the system about the running water because there's a slope on the hills. Especially here, this area, we have a lot of running, so many water. So you should very carefully design the system about the running water. Yeah, you can see, sometimes you see something like this. It's funny. It's similar to another different building. Yes, this is a natural way about the material. This way is the modern way. So usually we combine a different way together. I think it's possible. You can fit. This is the first, second, and the 3-layer courtyard. It just means the 1 floor height. Then here we build. Suddenly give the 3 floors height here. So it means something suddenly changed. It's the inside. Inside, you can find a different way. There's a stone, there's a concrete. The old space is the concrete. Yeah, we designed this inside the space. We also keep some concrete here, like the people can understand what's the meaning about architecture. It not just means something interior, like this material to cover everywhere. We keep some outside material inside. Yeah, this is a special exhibition place for the marriage bed, a special red colors marriage bed. We use some molded material here. It's the aluminum, it's metal marbles, give the feeling, give the people modern feeling about marrying. But we will put the traditional red colored marriage bed on it to show that. Oh, this is the corridor. In fact, almost similar to some place for the people. They can stay in this corridor to see the outside open theater place here. Yeah, this is a platform that people can play the local opera here. Then the different family can sitting in the space here to look. It's a corridor. You know why we have this very small window like this here? You know, in China, for the tradition, the girls before they are be married, similar to some secret. You know, we should keep the girl like the secret here. The feeling like this. So they need the final step is to clean, because they constructed this building for 10 years, a little bit dirty in fact. So they need to clean the wall, I think, in the next 2 months to prepare for opening ceremony. Yeah, in the I think it's a 5th layer courtyard. I designed a special orange garden here. Yes, it's not just about Chinese tradition. In fact, before I designed these gardens, I have a trip in Spain. I visited Cordova, and they have incredible, beautiful Muslim mosque, huge mosque there. In the entrance, they also have this orange garden. They tell me orange trees, it's maybe 1,000 years ago, come from China. They plant the orange trees here. I feel so beautiful feeling there, so I got this memory back. Design my orange garden here, and I just wait. Maybe 1 year later, we have see some orange here, like this. This special way is come from Cordova. Yes, it means some memory. So I designed the space usually more relate on my memory in my life. It's you can see the different layer about light to keep the light outside, give the more subtle feeling about light. It also has relation to the tradition about keep the girls like the secret inside. This is the Fennel Layer. Inside this wall is a Fennel Layer. It's a final one, small tea house. You can see that the buildings, they have the relation to their background, surroundings, different materials. And it's the age of the buildings. The people, when they finish their visit about museum, they will go out from here, gradually go down. On the road as they go down, they have some water pond system, like this, gradually go down. This is the first layer courtyard. It's also have some special things. I talk about some more funny detail. For example, these 4 small buildings, they have some relation. I think about them similar to the traditional local operas. they have some young female role, special role, called Huadan in this tradition. So I designed the full Huadan, young girls here. So this means 4 different small tea house. When you owe the trip about the museum, you can drink the tea here. It means when you go in, some people is very, how to call it, it's very urgent, want to see the exhibition. But I believe some people will think, oh, the landscape is more beautiful. I will stay here, drink tea, then I will go in. The second tea house is here. They have a bird view for this part. Then they have another tea house here. It's inside some courtyard, very peaceful. Then finally you find it's the final tea house here. They have bird view to all these buildings. It's similar to this female role in the full act traditional local opera. They have a different feeling show to you, like this. So I try to do something like this. It's like the people can understand architecture is also can have this power. They can give you some subtle feeling. As the first one, young girls. My young girls, it's a tea house. They have a big screen. It's electric control. You can open this, then see the landscape. When the sunshine is too strong, you can close it. You can have the more subtle light. Like this, you can see this one is in this big courtyard. Its courtyard is very big. It's about 20 meters wide, about 6 or 80 meters long. It's a very, very big space. Like this. But I just don't know what will happen, because when we start to this, then know this. When they finish building, suddenly something emerged here. They won't say bird view to our buildings. It's too bad. This second one, small tea house, like this. A little bit shy, so merged in the wall. This is the third one, similar to the secret. Just drop in a small courtyard here. That's the fourth one. So compare this drawing, then we can see what will happen. When you go in the building like this, it's very near the original drawings, I think. Yes, I hope something like this. This is our original drawing. It's a reality now. Yeah, I hope something will happen like this. Yeah, something will happen. Yes, something real happened here, in fact. Yeah, something like this. It's a scholar's party. Yes, something will happen here. Of course, and not just about virtual experience. Material, construction, craftsman, touching is very important for us. You can find we have many different ways about construction. It's a recycled gray bricks. It's a local stone. It's the big bricks. It's the very small bricks. Yeah, we mix, construct them together. Yeah, I think sometimes our work is not just designed by us. It's be finished by many people together, especially craftsmen. They really give a great contribution to the final work. So I like this feeling. It means architecture design beyond some private artworks. it's become something like this. So many different hands have touched these things. Finally, you find incredible, beautiful things happened like this. So usually I will ask to myself, is it really my work? It's beyond my work, I think. Yeah, I like it. Really like it. Incredible, beautiful. We used this recycled ceramic pieces. It's originally they used this big pot like this to put the local wing inside. Yeah. You can compare the different layer materials. They coexist together like this. It's a roof. Yes, it's a roof. This morning I visited the bridge in San Francisco. I like the red colors. In fact, I also designed this building like this. I call this the feeling comes from the sunset. Like the building has a feeling about the sunset. Like this. It's a recycled molded materials. It's a ceramic big tiles made by machine, but it's still very beautiful things. If you use as the right way, it will become incredible beautiful. That's that day when I visit the building, and this 4 craftsmen, they stand there, wait me for 1 day because they want to have the picture with me together. They had constructed stone in this construction site for 7 years, you know. So they are really master. I'm just the architect. They are master, I think. Thank you.
Hi, thanks for the lecture. It's very impressive. I have a question. I saw a lot of your buildings. When you do a design, when you're starting design buildings, when you have like concept like this one, and do you think about the concept at the same time with what kind of material you are using, or you would think about it like differently? Like think about the design, the idea first, then thinking about the tectonics or then the material? Thanks.
Because I'm a Chinese architect, for Chinese art tradition, I think materials is the first thing. So you should know, if you want to use the stone, it means the architecture concept is following the feeling about stone. If you use the bricks, it means the feeling about following the bricks. So material is the first thing. It's most important things, I think.
Thanks for a great lecture tonight. And I found one of the most interesting thing about your work is speed that you are working. So you mentioned the building, it took actually more time than constructing the whole city or the neighborhood next to the museum. And I would think even you explained the dirt on the wall because of the time, it took a long time. So I think the first question is, how do you resist of those kind of fast development happening in China? And how does your speed of work, like taking a long time, like 9 years to build, that kind of thing is, let's say, embedded in your work, how it's expressed? Yeah.
In fact, in China, it's really very special. The reality is, I think, totally different from here, in fact. And everything changed too fast. It's because it's too fast, like the people even lost the feeling about time. You know, if you lost the feeling about time, what's meaning? What will happen in your life? You can't get the real feeling about your life, in fact. You just mean some physical feeling about something here or something there. No. So this is why I think I struggled for this. Like the people can keep their memory, get their memory back, get the real feeling can be touched. It means I think the real things in the culture. The culture is not concept. Culture is this, the real feeling. Yes, that's what I struggled for, I think.
Hi, I like your work very much, but question is a little bit critical. So I heard a lot of people say museum is a place to show other stuff, not the museum itself. And your building has a very rich material and very exciting, like skins, layers. It's very rich. Would it be distracting for what's going on the exhibition? How do you think about that?
Oh, I think the collection in the museum usually they have some original real place. It not just means collection. Originally, they have the position in the real life. I'm not just want to design some beautiful artworks that coexist with the collection together. I want to give some feeling about place. It's not just means a one-to-one relationship to each other. It means something you can get the feeling is they come from, for example, a village, countryside. They have some real original place. I give the feeling that. And another side you can see in this work because the collection all the collection is very brilliant red colors. So I used dark colors, materials here. And finally, I just wait. If you know that all the space will become red colors. It's many red color things will put in here. That's why I designed this architecture use the very dark colors, like the background. But another side, I not just want to become a background. I want to become some more complex surroundings for the collections. Give some people can get some real memory about their tradition, I think.
Great. Well, thank you very much for your lecture, and thank you all for joining us tonight. And I hope you come back to the museum. We have a really great exhibition downstairs, Divine Bodies. And again, join me in thanking our lecturer tonight, Wang Shu.